Well, hello there. Welcome back to the Strength of G podcast, episode 13. Welcome back. It's great to have you here. I have been to my flips class today, as in flips, like front flips, back flips, which I go to as often as I can, but usually on a Wednesday once a week. I really enjoy it. And one of my goals this year was to learn a flip, and I have achieved that, which I'm very proud. I can do a flip and land it indoors. Now, my goal this year was to do that, to just be able to do it indoors. I'm not expecting to take it outdoors, maybe one day, but I'm happy to say I've achieved it. I'm going to continue going to the class because I want to get better at them and more consistent with my landings. But I have landed a front flip off of a small block, and I've landed a back flip with a spotter. But yeah, my goal was to do a flip without a spot, without someone helping me. And I've done a front flip and landed it a few times, multiple times, without a trampoline or anything like that, just a small block to take off of. And yeah, landing in soft surfaces. So for now, I'm going to stick to soft surfaces. But the reason I say that, if you're watching this as a video, my hair is in flip mode, as in, you know, when you go to a class and especially something like flips or where you're going into a foam pit and it just completely messes up your hair, especially if it's curly. So yeah, my hair is very frizzy after that class, but I think I've done all right at hiding it. Not that it matters, not that you're here for that, but I just thought I would say that. So what's new? Well, the 28-day reset, the coaching program I run for clients, both existing clients and new clients, to support with nutrition, is coming to an end in a few days' time. They will have completed their 28-day reset, where we work on their nutrition and their daily habits. But if you're interested in joining it again or signing up, it is launching. There'll be a new intake, like a fresh start, on the 7th of April. So you've got until the 7th of April to sign. Is that right? Yeah, till the 7th of April to sign up. What is the 28-day reset? So it's a coaching program I designed completely online to support people with their nutrition and to help them lose weight. So if you've been going to the gym for a while and you feel like you're doing all the right things but you're still not losing weight, then the 28-day reset may help you. It will give you a structured plan to follow in terms of your daily habits and your nutrition and those things that you need to do in order to see successful weight loss. It's all well and good going to the gym. Gym can help speed up weight loss, but ultimately what weight loss comes down to is nutrition. So I will give you some tools to think about and use in your daily habits and in your meals rather. And equally, I will also set you some daily habits. In the 28-day reset, you also get 2 calls with me to help personalize it a little bit. So in week 1 and week 3 of the 28 days, you get the option to book in a 15-minute call with me so we can discuss things on a more personal level. You also get a Monday call from me, like a video rather, like a webinar or a lecture where I chat to you about nutrition. So if you're interested in learning a bit more about food and nutrition, especially for weight loss, then you get a video every Monday from me. And yeah, it is £49 to join at the moment for the month, for the 28 days. And that is an early bird price. And then it will go up to £69 from the 28th of March. So you have until the 28th of March to purchase it at £49. Yeah, then I will be in contact and I will set you all up on the app. And we start on the 7th of April. So if you are interested in that, then go to my website, strengthofg.com, and you can sign up there. So, today I wanted to talk about, well, there's a few things, and there are a few questions from you guys, both from my clients and from people who have submitted questions via Instagram, via the question box on Instagram. So I do at least one weekly question box on Instagram. So if you follow me there, you'll see it pop up in my stories. You can ask me anything about nutrition, strength, the gym, parkour. I put topics up sometimes, like asking specifically, ask me any questions about weight loss, ask me any questions about strength training, but you'll see. But I'm always open to any question if you want to just pop it in there. So one of the questions you guys asked was, what supplements should I be taking? So this is an interesting one because I feel like there is so many advertisements at the moment about supplements, and we're being advertised all the time. This protein powder, that protein powder, this vitamin, this supplement we should be taking, creatine, leucine, what's the other one? There's loads, or like electrolytes. What should you be taking? For me, it's really important, and this is just my opinion. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a doctor. The first thing you should be doing is listening to what your doctor says. That's for sure. This is just my opinion. But I don't think we need to take that many supplements. I think you should take them if you have a blood reading that tells you that you are deficient in something. Great, you should take them. But I don't think we should just be taking them willy-nilly, especially not just because of an advertisement that you've seen. So I think in general, all these supplements, vitamins, green drinks, I think they're not necessary. And they are supplements. The key is in the word. They supplement your diet. So they can't replace a bad diet. So I would spend much more time and money focusing on what you eat every day. What does your breakfast look like? What does your lunch look like? What does your dinner look like? What does your snack look like? That doesn't mean you can never have a piece of chocolate or a dessert. You can, in moderation, you can. But what do the bulk of your diets do? Are they all meal deals, takeouts, Deliveroo, eating at a restaurant, stuff that's already packaged? Do you for breakfast, do you open a packet and eat out of it? Because that's processed. So cooking from at home, cooking home cooked meals as much as possible is huge for your health. And something I'm really keen to share and share with you guys in a lot more over the next coming months. I can't talk. I'm saying too many words. Something I'm keen to share with you guys a lot more over the coming months is some easy 5 to 10, 15 minute recipes and meal ideas. Some are barely even recipes, but just sort of meal ideas that you can put together in a very short amount of time, where it's kind of like you must have 5 minutes, 10 minutes to make that, because it takes that long to even order something on Deliveroo. So, easy meals, but that are still home cooked or made from scratch. And the difference it makes to your energy levels is huge. And it also makes a huge difference to your long-term health. So one of the things that has been studied is that the more diversity you have in your diet and the more plants, as in like natural plants, real food that you have in your diet, the more positive an impact it has on markers such as diseases, cardiovascular disease and similar have been studied, and they've found a lower occurrence of those diseases in people who had a more varied diet in terms of fruit and veg. So it is really important to cook from scratch, but it doesn't have to be complicated and it doesn't have to take an hour to cook. So what was I saying? Supplements are then supposed to supplement that. So they will be on top of that. So if despite doing that, despite cooking your meals, making them from scratch, whether it's a 5-minute meal or an hour-long meal, but cooking your food and eating raw ingredients rather than stuff that's come out of a packet. Despite all of that, if you're still low in iron, then sure, you should take a supplement. Or if you're still low in vitamin D, you should take a supplement. But I wouldn't over-supplement. And in the best-case scenario, you will just end up with a really expensive wee because you will pee it out. So our body will just pee out anything that we don't need. However, in the worst case, there are certain supplements that in certain situations and combined with other medication or with other treatments can have a negative impact as well. So I would tread carefully and I would save yourself some money and not spend so much money on supplements. One of the ones I said at the start was protein powders, and I don't think they're officially a supplement. Protein powder is a food, and it is a type of powdered milk, depending obviously whether your protein powder is whey, so milk, or whether it's made from pea protein or other proteins, but it's not actually classified as a supplement, I believe. It is more, it is a food, it is a powdered milk or a powdered food. So what I will say, to be completely transparent, is that I do drink protein shakes. I make a little protein mousse, which is simply taking protein powder and putting a lot less milk, like 80 ml of milk, with 30 grams of protein powder, and just mixing it up really fast with a spoon, and it makes like a mousse. So I like that as a snack, and I do use protein powders because, but just as a supplement to eating real food and on top of eating real food, as a sweet snack. And I enjoy them, but I don't think they're mandatory. I don't think you have to have them in your diet, but they're a very easy way to increase your protein intake, which in turn will increase muscle strength and size. And then I do also take creatine, which is a highly researched supplement. That is a supplement, and I take a little teaspoon of it every day in my porridge or in my protein shake. And creatine has been researched. It doesn't seem to have any negative side effects, and it simply is a supplement, a vitamin or mineral or supplement that can increase your, again, can improve muscle strength and size. So I do take that, but I don't typically advise that to clients. I don't tell clients to take creatine unless someone comes to me saying, I'm doing all the things right, my nutrition is great, and I really want to have more visible muscle. Then sure, I would consider talking about creatine at that point. But for most people, creatine is not necessary. None of these supplements are necessary. I would much rather, as a coach and personal trainer, focus on someone's nutrition and what they're eating every day and talk about that and spend time talking about that than talk about all these supplements. So yeah, I hope that answers that question. What supplements you should be taking? In principle, none. Like, simplify your life. Don't overcomplicate things. Creatine is a compound that comes from 3 amino acids. It's found mostly in your body's muscles as well as in the brain. Most people get creatine through seafood and red meat, but there are also creatine supplements. Yeah, and it is an organic compound. I was just trying to see what it is exactly. But yeah, it's a chemical naturally found in the body. But yeah, ultimately it has been studied a lot and there haven't been any negatives to taking it. Okay, I correct myself. When taken at high doses, there's a potential for serious side effects such as kidney damage. But yeah, again, as long as you take it well within the doses that I recommended. So I don't think that's a problem. Right, let's look at the next question. Should I be drinking protein shakes? Okay, I already answered that one. It was on my mind, clearly. Should you be drinking them? In principle, you don't need them, but they are a very easy way to increase protein, and where it can be quite hard to increase your protein intake without increasing your calories as well. Drinking protein shakes are generally fairly low calories for a snack, and they can fix a sugar craving, and they are fairly straightforward. They are powdered milk, nothing much to them. Obviously you can go down the more natural route with some vegan protein powders and pea protein and things like that. They will be lower in protein, whereas a whey or milk protein powder will be a bit higher in protein. But do what feels right for you. They're a great way to increase your protein, which will in turn increase muscle recovery and help your muscles grow in both strength and size. So it is an easy way to do that and to help you recover better from your workouts and get more of your training and feel more energized, without massively increasing your calorie intake. So without massively eating loads more food. So yeah, one protein shake has a similar amount of protein, if not more, to a chicken breast. So instead of eating another chicken breast, you can have a protein shake, for example. So, and then the next question I have is, should I cut carbs to lose weight? When I go low carb, I lose weight faster. And this one, should I cut carbs to lose weight? When I go low carb, I lose weight faster. So people often find this, and what I think is important to say is that the best way to lose weight is going to be to eat well, eat healthily, eat lots of vegetables and protein and fats, eat a varied diet and not cut out any one food group. First of all, because that's very hard to sustain, to continuously cut out a food group. Like, that would require, for a long period of time, or even a short period of time, would require presumably like not socializing at all, never eating with other people, or being extremely strict with yourself. And I think be cautious of being very, very strict and cutting out huge food groups. Try and keep a varied diet. That tends to be the best thing you can do. Try and reduce processed foods, yes, but try and keep a varied diet. So there is no need to cut carbs completely. The reason people see weight loss quickly when they cut carbs is twofold. One is actually a chemical reason. So carbs are stored as glycogen in the body, and glycogen is always found with 3 molecules of water for every molecule of glycogen. So it's like they link. Again, I'm no chemist, but they link together 1 molecule of glycogen with 3 molecules of water. As soon as you stop eating carbs, so like pasta, bread, starchy vegetables like potatoes, as soon as you cut them out for a day or 2 days or 3 days, your weight will drop because you have no more glycogen or very limited glycogen in your system. And that includes the 3 molecules of water. That's what they mean when they say you've lost water weight. You haven't lost fat. So the moment you start eating carbs again, you will, in principle, looking at the scales, think you've put on weight, but it's just water. It doesn't make you look fatter. It doesn't mean you've gained fat overnight. It is the water that is stored with that molecule. So it's kind of, those kind of things are quite interesting to know, because yes, you might think, well, this works for me, but is it actually working, or is it just a biochemical reaction or effect that is happening in your body, and actually you haven't lost any body fat? And I guess the key that you want, the key question you want answered, or most people want answered, is how do I lose body fat? How do I lose visible body fat? How do I get leaner? How do I look more athletic? How do I make my abs more visible? And in principle, the answer isn't cutting carbs. Not for that reason anyway, not because your scale weight starts to go down really quickly. That's not the reason that you should cut carbs at all. The second reason why people tend to lose weight when they cut carbs, and in my opinion, a more valuable reason and more interesting reason, is maybe not more interesting, but more useful in terms of wanting to lose fat, is that carbs like bread, pasta, rice, hot crust buns, things like that, are highly palatable foods that are very easy to eat a lot of. So I find most people find it easier to overeat when they're enjoying regularly pizza, pasta, bread, and things like that. It's a lot easier to eat more of them than you actually need for your to maintain or lose weight. So in that regards, I would say don't cut them completely. Every now and then, if I'm with friends, I will have a pizza. Every now and then, I will cook some sort of pasta, and every now and then I will have rice with my dal or with my chili, etc. But I just try not to have them every single meal. And some meals I'll have just a nice colourful plate of vegetables with some protein, and I might have some sweet potato in there or a little bit of potato, but I don't fill my plate with rice and a little bit of veggies. I try and prioritise vegetables in most of my meals. And I find that a really easy way to keep my intake of vegetables really high, my energy levels high, but not feel hungry, and without cutting pasta and pizza completely. Just being mindful that it is a food that it's very easy to go back for more, it's very easy to overeat, and it is higher in calories than vegetables, for example. So that is why I think the most valuable reason is if over 3 months you go from eating pasta and pizza every other day to eating it maybe every 3 days, that will put you in a calorie deficit, which will make you lose weight over 3 months. It's not the 3-day weight loss that is you're suddenly losing weight. That is just the glycogen and water molecules that are no longer in your system. So I hope that makes sense. And I think that is it for this week. Those are the questions that I collected from you guys. I will be back next week with more questions. If you have any thoughts, any questions that have popped into your head from that, or just as you're going about your day, if you realise, I've always wanted to know if I should be eating this food or not, then just pop them in the question box on my Instagram stories, or just drop me a message and I'll add them to my notes for the next podcast. The podcast comes out every Monday, so you can look out for it on Spotify, on YouTube. If you're enjoying it, please give it a thumbs up or a follow or a subscribe on YouTube, and I'll be back with more. And again, if you enjoy chatting with me and hearing about nutrition and exercise, and you are interested in working with me, simply head to the Strength with G website, strengthwithg.com, and you can sign up for one-on-one coaching, where I will work with you on both your exercise plans for the gym and your nutrition. Or if you're already in a good routine with the gym, with classes, or your own workout, and you just want support with nutrition, then you can join the 28-day reset as well. And all the info is on there on the website. So yeah, I will speak to you again very soon. Thanks, bye.